Disclaimer: the information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GAN's processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
The understanding of the transmutation of the fields of the universe will become the new occupation of man. In a way, up to now, we looked into the skies to see the UFO. Mankind will look into the skies with the eye of the soul, not with the eye of the man. And universe and unicorns, in a way, is up to now we looked into. You got to understand that with a new understanding of the fields of the universe in motion, what we call energy, fields of the universe in the uniformity of the motion we call plasma, now has to be understood. Now has to be integrated into the structure of what we call life of the man in the space. We need to bring this change in, as now mankind has matured enough in numbers to be able to bring that burden of the change for the rest. You'll be amazed in the next few weeks and months how the drug traffickers will dump and try to make the dogs and the cats addict because they can't reach their bosses. And you do the same with your cat and dog, but just buy them ahead and put them on the line the hours that is transmitted. And we have set our system that there is no hacking. Now you have to understand how to bring the two fields of your soul, of physicality, you will call the spirit, and the soul of the man to work together. That does not need the brain cell, but it works without it, the way you shall do when you become the passengers of the universe, as your brain in its amino acid cannot exist. We don't have a brain between the earth and the sun. It's got to be part of the knowledge of man in space that sooner or later mankind will come to understand that the totality of the knowledge shared belongs not only to man. It is the right of every citizen of this planet. And it's the right of all of us to have access to it. We don't make a game of it, we make a life of it. Keshe Foundation is set to bring that change to technology, and we will have many enemies. Those who want us not to be there, and how they can bring that condition for them not to be. Try to understand what the emotion is. Try to understand how you create that emotion. Try to understand in what condition of physicality you create the strength with the interaction of the field of the soul that gives you that emotion. And then go to your soul and create the same field of strength that the interaction with the soul of physicality creates the same emotion. Then if you become mature to this, then it doesn't matter if the soul is the protector of the physicality or the physicality is protector of the soul. They work in a synchronized manner because they are both aware of everything. When you work in that strength, all the other souls and physicalities work on the same strength, then man shall not lie, man shall not cheat, man shall not kill, because I'm hungry, I need fields, and I'm given fields. It's got to be understood by majority of the people. And gradually, but all from the point of the first education, what it means to live with the soul, and what it means the existence of the spirit, or the dimension of physicality. Our children will be educated to the knowledge of the universe from birth, the way they inherited the exchromosome and became paralyzed and become all the diseases they caught. It's just the energy and emotion which has brought that change. So the same shall be when a man understands this as a childhood, within the father's and mother's energy fields that has no X chromosome or Y. When the children of the man are created from the fields of the soul of the man, man shall bring no imperfect child to this world. That time has come. And that time is amongst us. And it's the time for us to bring it. In a coming time, in a very, very short time, as we are working in the background and development of technologies, as our team have to understand it, there'll be no room for vaccination. We transfer the energy of what we call the virus, which your body of dimension of physicality could be a virus on this planet, but on another planet or position in the universe is your food, to understand the transmutation from position to position. So you do come to the point that if you want to have a measles protection, you put your child this channel, this time allows this to be received as an energy. There'll be no ADHD, there will be no autism because of the mixture of the viruses and the injections and fake ways they do deliver to them. Now, gradually, your eyes opening up, the capability and the possibilities which is now is open to mankind. You go on channel 24 and you can have as much apple as you like, but you won't pull an apple, you won't kill an apple. You want to have a lamb, you go on channel 26, you get to taste the food and everything of it, and you don't need to slaughter an animal. Now you understand how extensive this will touch you, and how satellites are needed, because the electronic satellites have a limitation of physicality. We need the soul satellite, which is of the same and transmute the same and is there to give and to exist. I made man in the image of myself. Is our creator ADHD, or is he a drug addict? None. And so should be the man. Now the man has to And this is the cornerstones of the teaching. This is the cornerstones of understanding the embodiment of the cosmic rays, the soul, the ganses, and everything else which goes with it. What will be the next step for you to understand the strength of the cosmic rays? Which one you need, which one you don't need. How do you attract it to yourself, and how you reject some because you don't need it, even though they're on target. Very soon, once we start these systems to go public for you to tap into, you will tell us how you feel. You will tell us, today I didn't eat, not interested. Because today I receive what I need as energy through all the channels which is set up by Keshe Foundation. We govern the planet, not pieces of land. We govern through the soul and technology and knowledge, not by the gun policy and whatever sits with it. We need your support to be able to bring that change scientifically, correctly, and with the process and understanding of the whole lot, that we do not bring the change by wars, we bring change by love and creation of new country. I hope you understand what's on the table today and what is the part of the teaching. The main topic and the main objective of today is we do not need intermediaries. And nobody can protect the right of the Creator when themselves are abusers of the name of the Creator in the name of Ayatollah and the rest of it. I hope you understood the teaching of today. It has come to an end, and you understand scientifically why to the abuse of the man by the religion. Unless you enjoy an intermediary because you still think, I haven't found either, so I double in weaknesses of my own lack of understanding. Look to understand, try to find out the knowledge, and at the same time try to be precise, that you don't need another intermediary. You understand the knowledge that there is no need for intermediary anywhere in the universe. Always said, my message hasn't changed. It's for you to understand, you mature to. When I said to the professors at the university in early 2012-13, when they wanted to send a student to the KF SSI, in which direction do you get your student to pray and bend when it's traveling the span of the universe and the earth is rotating and they're upside down and they're in different part of the universe which rotates itself? Where do you find your God to pray to, unless your God is within you, understanding the conduct? The message has not changed. And the technology and the knowledge has not changed. We just explain more of it that you understand it more freely.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 617th Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, November 20th, 2025. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute Education Department and part of the public teachings in English. My name is Rick Crammond, and I'll be host here once again in this weekly continuous series of workshops ongoing for over 11 years now. And once again, we have the honor of having Mr. Mehran Keshe as our main presenter here today. And please go ahead, Mr. Keshe.
Thank you very much. Good morning, good day to you, as usual, wherever and whenever you listen to this series of knowledge seekers from Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. As usual, we welcome you back, and we try to explore the world of creation through the science of the space, how the cosmos works, and how us as humans, for thousands of years and centuries, thinking that the Earth is the center of the universe, and we have found ourselves more or less at the end of the road. What's interesting for us as knowledge seekers is to understand the behavior of magnetic field, is to understand the connection of magnetic field, to understand how magnetic fields travel from one point in the universe and universe to another, what causes them to move, what creates a condition for them to travel. As we said, the universe is a plasma. And depending on how one pushes one corner of it, creates a wave, that wave becomes manifestation of physicality of it. Now think very simply, if the soul of the man is the plasma, and the creation of the emotion of the field, which is a collection of the fields of the plasmas which has made it to become that single central field, what pressures these, what impression these single cells exert on the plasma of the soul, that in creating that wave to manifest the physicality of it, leads to the physicality manifestation of the physicality of the man. In a way, we set the ocean, you put a pressure on it, atmospheric or whatever, and that pressure manifests itself on the shore in respect to the resistance, magnetic field of the solid state of the shore, a wave, magnetic field, manifestation of physicality out of the plasma of the ocean. Then, if that understood, we then understand how our physicality is created by the impression of the field of the soul of the mother, by impression of the field of the soul of the cells which has come in from the father as egg and sperm, and in division and collection, they press on this newly formed plasma, which in a way, on pushing its limit, it changes from the what we call the cell collection of the cells to the dimension of physicality of the man, the shape, the color of the eye, and the rest of it. In a way, we are an impression of the field of the created, which is our mother, which is closest to us, the soul of the what we call presence of the father in the dimension of the sperm, which was created, still waving, still pushing in the structure of the totality, that in the interaction with the fixed dimensions of the planet Earth leads to two hands, two arms, the eyes, and the rest of it. So the dimension of the expansion of the fields on the soul leads to manifestation of the physicality of the man, the way the wave was made on the ocean. Then we understand one thing, that the field strength of the creation of the cells, in a way, in division and in addition, shows, manifest the impression of the intention of the emotion in creating that physicality. So when it comes to the point, is the wave of the collective soul of physicality on the soul of the man, which releases the fields of the soul with the interaction of the womb of the mother, which the mother's soul is part of this impression, dictates our shape. So as the mother has 2 legs and 2 arms and whatever, we replicate that impression and the pressure. Isn't this the reason why in so many cases now the scientists say this and this is similar to that and the mother and the child are the same? Or is it actually the pressure on the soul which leads to the creation of that? And then, as everything else, man finds a way to translate this emotion into the dimension of the DNA and the rest of it that he can understand, justify his knowledge. Till very recently, we never had a knowledge of what the DNA was and what RNA is and the rest of it. But if this structure we have accepted to be correct, then there has to be, because we are part of the bigger structure, the DNA of the universe, a RNA of universe, and where we fit is part of the cell of this structure, which is our galaxy, which is our universe, which is our solar system and our planet, are created out of the intention and the fields exerted on this, what we call the plasma of the soul of the creator. Then one point arises that if this wave in this ocean leads to manifestation of physicality of the, what we call the structure of the field strength of the wave which manifested it, then life has to be not exclusivity of this planet. As the exertion of the fields of the, what we call the totality of the cells of the universe, with interaction with the field strength of what we call resistance of the planetary galaxy and the rest of it, leads to creation of life. Is the essence of the creation of life. This is why I made man and every other creature in the universe as an image of me. Once we understand this, the only difference comes between the race of the man and the race of the other creatures, which are created through the same span and expansion of the fields and interaction and resistance with the, what we call entities which are previously created, or the fields which are on emotion, confirms that life is not exclusivity of this planet, as the waves have been created through the expression, impression, and interaction of the collection of the fields which are within this plasma of the universe. So life, for sure, once we understand this, cannot be, is impossibility to be exclusivity of this planet. And by the same order of magnitude is not exclusivity of this universe, that in every universe in the unicos there is life. There is existence. It's the confirmation of the field interaction of the totality on its environment, which confirms and confirms the creation, the confirmation of the existence, and what we call life. But once we understand this, we have to understand what is the common denominator in confirmation of life in the universe and unicos. And if we find that common denominator, we all can transmute from one strength to another, from one universe to another. We transmute from one star to another, and the whole universe is transformed. We have to find that common line. That line, which comes from the field strength of the what we call the master plasma, what we call the creator of the creators. We believed in God, which is the creator of our life, our universe, but our God, our universe, is part of collection of universes. Then we have to justify, we have to find a new definition. The creator of the kidney God, the creator of our universe, and the creator of the body which contains that kidney, or the totality of the plasma, which is the creator of the unicos. So if you are a cell as part of a kidney, then who owns that kidney? Which animal, which structure, which life that kidney belongs to? And then we have to find that common denominator that connects all the cells of the kidney, the liver, and everything else together, which connects us to the other creations of the creator and the bigger creator for every single one of us. So now we have to find a third dimension that not only connects us to this universe, but we find a connection that is connecting us to the unicos. Then we can travel the span of universe. Then we don't need these obsolete fly systems, which now even to us, the guy called 3I looks so advanced. If it was, it could not have taken the dimension of physicality. It just knows how to play with the field of the universe and the unicos. Then man does not need, as we see in this little chap, we are amazed by it, that what it does, if it is a flying object from another position in the universe with a little bit more intelligence, why has this guy taken him 3 months, 4 months just to go around the sun in such a small solar system as Earth? Whatever happens in the next few months, in the next few weeks, that we come across, or happen that we come across, it happen that we have to interface with the creatures, if they are, with the life, if they are of with 3I or the 2R, they're not that much clever than us. Just because you have learned and you've been in a society when there is a car and you are used to donkey, does not make you another race. Still the same human, educated a little bit more, has gone to the city and has learned to drive a car, doesn't need a donkey. Where man and the knowledge of present time is on the donkey. And these guys are the citizens of the same country, the same universe as us, but they're driving a car. And I'm sure there is more advanced knowledge, there is more understanding races which have created that magnetic field, that wave, that when they look at the 3I, they say is a donkey. Where man to them is so advanced. Then you understand what field pressure you have to exert on the plasma of the universe, on the plasma of the unicos, to create that shallow wave, wave of, let's say, 10 feet tall, or a wave of 100 feet tall, with the strength of so that is just a on the shore, or is a splash on the shore, or become a tsunami that it washes the whole of the shore. This knowledge is still in the dimension of physicality. Mankind has to find out. You've been trained as a knowledge seekers, if you understand it, to travel with the speed of the pressure which created that wave. Then, if you do that, you can travel the span of the universe and the unicos instantaneously. In a way, you have to find out what emotion has led to creation of that wave, and the strength of the wave, the height of the wave, and manifestation of the speed of. Once mankind understand this, once you as person, as a human, understand this, and you do it every day in your life, then you can transmute. As I said last time, it's like when you're enjoying a cat and then something happens and you push the cat, emotion changes from joy to regret to push. What emotion and what is the change of motion? Is that little of the wave? Is that the splash of the wave, or is that the tsunami of the wave? Which emotion creates what? If you understand this, if you can replicate this through the soul, then we understand the existence of the soul, the connection and correction of the soul, how soul is confirmed, and how with emotion we can create that wave, stroke, happiness, joy and tear. We know how to create the strong wave and the tsunami, be it in the joyful way, be it in a sad way. We cry to laugh from joy, and we cry to show our sorrow with the same face, with the same eye. It's the emotion which puts the pressure on the soul, which brings the dimension of physicality of the reaction and manifestation. Then one understands the whole existence. It depends on how the emotion is created and what time the manifestation of its existence and confirmation of its existence. I made man in the image of myself. If once we understand this, the biggest question for man is, what is the emotion of God that leads to creation of that way, which leads to manifestation of physicality of the man, as the soul of the man is part of the structure of his field. The soul of the mother, the pressure of the soul of the mother, the pressure of the cells is that 20%. As you take energy 80% from the environment and the universe, so the fields of the creator, its emotion, its field strength of its waves, is the other percent, 80% of your manifestation, implementation of physicality and the soul of the man. When we always said, you take 80% of the field of life from the universe, so that field of life has already had an impression on the soul of the man. It's not just fields of physicality, but interacts with the plasma of the soul of the man. And that leads, manifests itself in the dimension of the physicality of the man in the womb of the mother, or in the society or environment where it's manifested. If and when you understand this goes back to what we explained much earlier and in the past teachings. When you transmute from earth, where there is air, 1G, water and everything else, and you go on the Mars, the lung is no good. There's no air to breathe. There's no water to drink. There is no food that you can feed yourself. Then the life is zero. But by the order of the preservation of the soul, you will transform yourself into the dimension as the existence that can live on the surface of the moon, inside the moon, in its atmosphere, upper atmosphere, as a dimension of life which can repeat itself, can enjoy, and at the same time can create a wave to, for, and because of, to confirm its existence. Then it goes back to the teaching for past few weeks that emotion is the key to dimension and structure of the manifestation. What emotion did your mother go through that is pressure on your soul has led to the creation of you. Where she's 20% of, the other 80% comes from the universe. And then, which part of this 80% is the reflection of the fields of the soul of the Creator? I made man in the image of myself. As I create the fields, energy in motion is the energy which is the mass of the man in the dimension of manifestation. Once we understand this process, once we comprehend the depth of the knowledge in respect to this process, then mankind is ready for transmutation. Does not need university education, does not need no religion, does not need no factor, but the realization and maturity of the man according to his understanding for him to find out his position, his structure, his face, and the others. And then once you understand this, the way we always spoke about the beautiful people, that they show different faces according to which energy manifests itself in them, a woman, a man, an animal, kind, and horrible, all comes to one point. What pressure the emotion puts on the soul that leads to creation of manifestation of physicality and impression of the life at that point with that soul. Even the change of behavior. I'm made man in the image of myself, because the image I create is a reflection of the emotion of the fields of my soul. Then you have to decide what field strength wave you create that impression of the emotion has led to its creation. Which means what emotion you need to create within the dimension of the soul of physicality on the soul, in that in the given dimension and position leads to creation or manifestation of its physicality. The interaction of the soul of physicality with the soul of the man leads to creation of emotion. So it's very easy to understand. If you have the emotion which you have created through the soul of physicality and the soul of the man, how you will look, how you will survive, what will be your condition on the surface of Mars, and if you carry with the same thing on the moon, it could be something else. This, as I said, the teaching of now is said to be to bring man to understand the position, dimension of the life in the universe. Why we teach this way, in such a compressed way, in the past few weeks, is to make man ready if and when, and possibly not with 3i, with another cycle as becoming more cleverer, that they cannot pull wool on our eyes to see them, to understand them, and they are not what we call on their own, taking us for a fool as has been done for thousands of years. When they promised in 2025 it'll be this and that, did this set out by the passengers of the same 3i, let's say 3,000 years ago? That when I come round, the bus comes round, in 3,000 years of human, it will be this and that, and becomes a promise day. They've taken the man for a fool, because man is a fool, because man never understood the process of creation. Now, would our leaders, if comes to the point of 3i, 4i, 10i, land with us with the conformation of life from space, would they become our God? Would we become the Bedouins of the South America waiting for the blonde man with the blue eyes to manifest itself? They gave the gold, mankind will give its soul. This is what is the maturity of time, that no one can take no one for fool, does not matter from where, which dimension and position in the universe. If and when knowledge seekers understand this point, then the knowledge seekers have matured to transmute, to transfer, to be able to be at any position, not only in their house, in their life, in this planet, on this universe and the rest. Understanding the knowledge of creation is the gift to those who have the pleasure, purity of heart, that have managed to unravel the secret. This cannot be taught, cannot be given. I cannot give my soul to your soul for your soul to be enlightened, but I can show you how I was enlightened. I have to go on this call, Rick. Please take over.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Keshe. All right, well, I've got a video we can play here. Mr. Keshe did warn me that he might have an important call to take, so we'll take a few minutes here on, see, I've got a video, it's about 6 or 7 minutes on nano and how it connects with field interaction. I think it's a few years old now, but still quite relevant. And I'll share that now, and we'll take a break until Mr. Keshe comes back.
You taught us before that nano means singularity and release magnetic fields. So does this mean that our sun is nano in respect to us, but in respect to the universe it's not? Its magnetic fields are tied up with the solar system and galaxy. I'm trying to understand, what does nano really mean? I am a nano, then I have magnetic fields?
Yes, I think you understood better than the professor in university in Brazil. This is how the solar system works as a nanostructures. And through their magnetic fields, they create the condition of the connection. In a human life, when we get together and we make connection, for example, we hold hand when we are in a circle. In the world of creation, magnetic field lines is that holding hand with the next connection, next item, next star. And that's all it is. Holding hand with another star, holding hand with another cell, holding hand with another galaxy. It's a physical arm of connection of one with the other. In the world of man, we put our hand out, become magnetical, and the other person puts a hand in toward us, he becomes gravitational to us. In the world of plasma, we become magnetically as a plasma putting a connection out, and when we find another hand, another field shaking or connecting to us, we create a communication. From being a nano, we become a molecule. And this is how life is in the universe. We call it gravitational or magnetical. In human life, we call it the shaking hand. I put my hand out, you put your hand to me. I become magnetical from me to you, and you become gravitational to me because I receive your field. In a way, is nano of me is single me. When I shake hand with the other one, is become molecule of me and another person. They become characteristic of two. It's like when you're trying to pull something on your own, you don't have the strength. But if somebody else you give a hand to, and they hold your hand and you pull together, now you can pull an object, you can make a connection with the object. So now you become a molecule of, combination of, and this is how we work. We are individuals, nanos is individuality, and then it transfers into molecular structure to lock in to have more strength. And in a way, if you look at it, you're a nano, if you're in a circle, you give one hand to the guy in the front, you're giving, and another hand behind you, you're pulling the person behind you in the line. This is your gravitational, your magnetical, but you're still individual. But collectively, it becomes a molecule, it's a connection now. And this is how the stars work. This is how nanomaterial make connection. As they give, they receive. And this is how the technology of life is, creation is.
So a continuation for this question is, can it happen that an atom decides on his own not to join with another as a molecule? Are atoms free to decide?
Yes, it happens all the time. That's how our skin is created. That's how you have a surface of a material, how you have a surface of a stone. The surface point of any element is where the element cannot find a connection with its next similar item. In the body of the man, your neural system is a connection of the ganses in a nano gans structure. And when it comes to the end of your nerve, that nanogans structure changes to nanographene structure of the same cell. And besides, that's the end of it. I don't want to make any more connection, and becomes the end of your nerve system. As we were talking about the graphene, which is a nanocrystal structure, nanocrystal structures are end. They do not give any more connection. They don't create any connection. They transfer all the connection to the center of themselves in one direction. And that is what happens in your body. When the nanoplasma gans in your body changes to nanographene structure into your body, it becomes there, does not connect, it becomes a surface, becomes the end of your neural system, for example. And it's the same when you do not want to extend anymore, which you want to be to what it is, this becomes your surface, and that's the end of the what we call a structure, where the cell does not want to make any connection to add another similar cell to itself.
Okay, that's our excerpt from that particular workshop. And I think that Mr. Keshe is still busy with his call. So I propose we play another video. Actually, before that, I thought maybe we could have a look at the how the background image was created for today's workshop. And if we have a look at it here, it's quite a colorful and detailed picture. It was created by the Grok AI platform. And I'd like to show the process that I went through to get this. It's quite simple, actually. Just let me get that set up here. But it's kind of fun the way it all worked out here. So this was my Grok platform here, and I put in a request, or my statement was a Keshe Foundation Testimonials backdrop. And when I put those words in, I was looking for a background image, actually, not a backdrop, but a background image for the testimonials, public meeting for testimonials last week. And so Grok kind of misunderstood my request, understandably, and it started relating the information about the Keshe Foundation and about testimonials and so on here. And then it asked me if I wanted a visual backdrop or background image or graphic and so on. Do you want me to generate one? And then I got into the background image. But before that happened, I thought it was actually an interesting write-up that Grok gave me about the Keshe Foundation and so on. So I like to read it as part of this discussion here. So it goes: the Keshe Foundation, founded by Mehran Tavakoli Keshe, promotes plasma technology applications in health, energy, agriculture, and space travel. Their testimonials often come from users claiming benefits from tools like GANs, gas and nanostate water, plasma reactors, and transmutation sessions. Based on public sources, here's a high-level overview of common testimonial themes drawn from their official site and related discussions. And it gets into health-related testimonials. And it says many reports focus on pain relief, inflammation reduction, and recovery from conditions like arthritis, headaches, sciatica, and infections. For example, users describe using GAN CO2 patches or foot baths to alleviate joint pain, cramps, and long-term issues like misaligned toes, with effects noticed in days to months. Other claims include preventing kidney stones through plasma water consumption, quick recovery from colds and fatigue, and even unverified reports of curing serious illnesses like throat cancer. In group sessions, participants report sensations like numbness, warmth, dizziness, and altered states during transmutation experiences, linking them to plasma field interactions. Technology and spiritual testimonials. Tech-focused accounts highlight building plasma reactors, such as 3-star dynamic systems with CO2, CH3, and CuO GANs for energy fields that aid meditation, relaxation, and perceived Kundalini energy. Users note fields extending up to 30 meters used for sharing light or health benefits. Spiritual testimonials described improved relationships, emotional harmony, and a sense of soul-physical connection after sessions, such as global incontro fra animi events leading to family improvements. I haven't looked up what incontro fra animi means. If somebody recognizes that, they can put it in the chat here. I'll look that up shortly, perhaps. Well, I'm curious, so I'm going to look it up now. Just bear with me a second, and I'll go to a different. Just a second, I got. Just putting in the into my translator here. Not getting a really good translation. That it didn't translate from German properly. So it says it should be incontro tra enemy, not fra, and that's enemy encounter. Still don't know what that means. That's supposed to be the English. So in any case, and then it gets into gardening and other applications. Gardeners report enhanced plant growth, vibrant colors, and flowering after spraying GAN solutions, often with simple setups like ping pong balls filled with liquid plasma. Broader uses include animal health, such as treating lung issues in pets, and vehicles, energy, though fewer details are shared. These testimonials are user submitted and appear across the Foundation's site, YouTube playlists, Facebook groups, and X posts. They're anecdotal and not scientifically verified. Critics often label the Foundation's claims as pseudoscience. Recent X activity as of November 2025 shows ongoing public meetings for sharing experiences, like the 107th Testimonials meeting on October 13th and space simulation sessions. Then it asked me if I'd like the backdrop. Yes, I say yes, please generate a background image with no words on it. And I got these couple of images, which are quite beautiful in many ways, but I was surprised to get these sort of psychedelic type imagery, which I didn't request or anything. I haven't seen that type of art style given to me before. And so I put a request there, or not a request, but you can click on edit and include, change the picture. So I said, include some beings enjoying the plasma technology. And it created these two images, which are quite interesting. And so I ended up using this one on the lower right here, cut out part of that, as put it into a workshop. And some of that is quite all very interesting. And I've used this image for today's background image and cut out part of that, the upper part here. And I thought it kind of shows the fields and the reactors and different reactors all around. And we have these entities that perhaps that's the coming of Mithra to the planet. We have Mithra's birthday coming up, birthday of Mitra, and I think December 6th coming up in a couple of weeks here.
I'm here if you want to carry on.
Perfect. I'm just finished describing how our background image was created
today. Thank you very much.
Just go back to that and you can take over, Mr. Keshe. Thank you.
Thank you very much. As we're sorry about the delay. These are some official calls I have to accept, and we're expecting this. We were given a notification of it by for talking to the officials, and I had to accept it. The structure we go back to is more or less to understand that what we call is in macro is in micro. What the field pressures or field impressions on the soul of the man creates the physicality of the man. Then the point is, as our creator again is a plasma, it's a collection, accumulation of the fields which have no entity, we call them plasma, till creation of the pressure, which in it releases a wave, which leads to manifestation of creation of that physicality of the wave, as we see, in respect to the resistance of the environment, which creates its boundary. Once we understand this, and once we understood how the impression of the field of the soul of the mother, the impression of the field of the soul of the father as a sperm, and the collective expansion and division leads to the physical manifestation of the man, then what shape, what is the face of our universe? And in totality, how do we look? We always looked at the structure of the inside our universe. Hundreds of billions of stars, galaxies, blah, 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 blah. Isn't it the story we say the body of the man has trillions of cells in it? And how many trillions makes the body of the man? Then how many trillions of waves have been created that has led to the creation of the stars, the planets, the galaxies, and the rest? The reason I brought this subject up of the teaching this way is, if man understands how energy, information, emotion travels, transfers, transmutes from one cell of his brain to another, which creates a reaction of physicality of the man, anger, joy, running, or whatever, then to the same measure, man can find, considering his soul as to be that cell in the structure of the bigger cell, transmute through that channel to anywhere in the universe and the universe, depending on what field of strength man chooses his emotion into that point. That tuning, that field of strength, that pulse, that frequency, whatever you call it, leads to, comes to, ends up with manifestation of the physicality. Then those of you who are looking for, trying to strive to transmute, understand, it's a two-way traffic, joy and sadness, laughter and cry, anger and calmness, towards who? Gravitational, magnetical. Depending on the field of strength, if the gravity is more, becomes anger. When the magnetical is higher, becomes laughter. Then you understand how with emotion you create transmutation. The way you move from happiness to sadness, from laughter to cry, one reflection of the emotion, one confirmation of the physicality, then you can see how, if you understand the game that emotion plays, it will lead, is the cause, is the way, is the key to transmutation. Then it comes what pressure you exert on the soul, what pressure you create, you exert on the soul of physicality, which creates that condition of the cry, laughter, run, joy, and everything else. You have learned the transmutation between the cells, but when it comes to transmute the whole of the soul, man runs into trouble because he has not understood, he has not comprehended. It's the same process, as I say, it's the same thing, but man has chosen many words for the same thing and is confused himself in what is what and what it comes. Then it comes to the point where mankind does not need systems to transmute. Man needs understanding of the emotion to be able to transmute in any dimension, as an energy, as a wave, as a field, as a mass. if we go into the extension of understanding the speed of the rotation of field strength between the cells of the body of the man, which leads to certain emotion, if we replicate that and we understand what it is, can we understand what is the feeling of our creator, which is created as part of our creation in this universe in respect to what we call the unicos? In a way, we say our universe is dynamic in the environment, but it's in an environment. Is it running away towards its creator or is running towards? What emotion carries is the reason why we see such a clashes and the hemorrhage of the galaxies with each other is the impression of the direction of the emotion which the physicality of the universe has been exerted to, or it is exerting on for in the environment of the unicos. As I said, we are here for the last time to teach what man has to understand. So you have to learn not only how you transmute in this physical place going from London to New York, but how you go from Earth to Moon, then from this galaxy to another. You have to learn how to transmute through the emotion of the universe to the unicos. And understanding that, how you connect yourself through the emotion to the dimension and direction of the creator, which is the greater structure of the life. It's no use doing it in bits, as once we teach, it's taught by to all. Mankind and the rest of the creation has to understand how these forces come about. And in the coming up teachings, gradually we open this door. Because it's no use, otherwise it becomes this fairy tale. As you understand more and more, we open the path not only to universal, what we call transmutation, but into unicos transmutation, which means you have to learn. And then when you learn the higher, the lower, which is the transmutation of the physicality of the man, becomes child's play because you see the higher order. You understand the higher order. You see the replication of the higher, so it's not that hard. Because we try to teach you in a level of the transmutation of the soul of the man, and we see most of you have a problem. So, in a way, decision was made. We show you the further up the ladder, that through the example, through comparison, you'll learn how to work in the lower ladder. And this will go for, and in the animosity of the totality of the man's soul within the structure of itself, with the soul of physicality. And once you understand this, and you can comprehend, you are doing what is the chain of events for the future soul, then is the truth. In a way, if we can open a dimension of understanding in a larger scale, as your soul finished with the physicality and find its position in the universe, this soul of the man, which has led to the creation of the new cycle, itself is part of the soul of the creator, is part of the plasma of the existence of the creator of this universe. And then in that structure totality, how does this soul interact with other universes, and in fact, how does it make the essence of the physicality of the creator of the creators? In a way, once you learn to walk, you can jump, you can dance, you can hike. And the process is to show you how you dance. Maybe you'll learn how to walk, which is the same. You just add something to it. You take that extra energy of the jumping from one leg to another or moving the legs faster. Just you see how the leg runs. It's the same story as I said last week. You get the beginning and the last equation, you know where you want to be. Find a way, explain your way down the ladder, and then reverse it. And then you all come to understand, as it's been in all the teaching, the only way which man will create a new time, which is a new life, new existence, new transmutation time of what we call beginning, is through understanding the field strength of the emotion that leads to creation, beginning of the new starting point time. When the bell has rang for the time when the two soul of the man and the soul of physicality have to say separation from the physicality, a new time has started, new time of journey. And as plasmatic magnetic fields do not take time, is instantaneous, your soul in his position, in anywhere in this universe, and according to what has been enlightened to anywhere in Unicos, is immediate. If your soul can do, how cannot do it with your understanding of the emotion? What is the field strength of the emotion of the soul, which gives it the dimension and the position in the unicos and in the universe? Man needs to understand that emotion. And then transportation from A to B is the child's play, is the essence of the emotion. In today's teaching, we have set our system to create that pressure on your soul. Let's see what waves you make. In today's structure, we are not interacting with anything else but the central energy of your structure, both in the dimension of the connection of the common universal line and in the universal line, in the dimension of the physicality. How do you feel? How the session today has been? You have the yin and yin, you have the lower and higher strings. As it gives to one, takes another one. How the session has been with you. Those of you who are sitting on the other side of the panelist, what we call participants, you can see the system is running. We are teaching, we are exerting, we are making it available to you, that how you decide to create that enlightenment, how you want to take that soul, where you want to take that soul. Decision is yours. We create the environment, we create the atmosphere, we create the dimension for you to decide. We have brought you both the dimension of the universal field strength, we brought you in the very dimension of the field strength of the creator, directly in one place. In a way, your soul is that plasma of the creation, and we have brought the exertion of the field forces and the dimension of the field interaction to release, to confirm, to be able to go to any place, position, and dimension. It's you who have to create that emotion. In a way, you're sitting in a seat of transportation for past hour or so, but how many of you, consciously or unconsciously, have made a move, been somewhere? And is it coincidental, or is it have been managed to bring you to the point of transmutation by dimension of enlightenment? You feel the emotion or intention, and you carry on to deliver that. We are like the captains who delivered your soul to the position. Now you're in charge. And we give you every tool. If the knowledge seekers, if you understand the gift we have given you as a knowledge and as the field energies to support you to get to that, you will be enlightened to understand the process of the creation. And once you're enlightened, it's not just walking, you'll jump, you'll dance and enjoy the presence of the Creator's magnetic field as the interaction of the soul of you becomes that reach, and the field strength of the plasma of the Creator becomes that ocean, that the field strength of your emotion in interaction creates the manifestation of confirmation of existence. my soul interact with soul, that in that interaction leads to manifestation of your physicality. I made man in the image of myself because it comes from the field, the strength of my soul. Go for a break, come back, and I hope slowly, I'm opening that gap for you to be enlightened and for you to be able to take that step, walking away from the fear and making that to a joy, to be able to, and maybe, if it is possible, leads to the understanding, manifestation of the creation of the dimension of the universe. Rick, take us on a break and we come back.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Keshe. Thank you. Okay. Well, for today's break, I'd like to play an excerpt from the last workshop where Mr. Keshe talks about the Christmas pack that is available at the Keshe Foundation store. And it's interesting, I think, the way he talks about it and describes the Christmas pack, and shows the beginning of the video. You can, if you saw the workshop last time, you understand some of the variety of products that are available. And here Mr. Keshe describes more fully about how they're made and the GANs factor that's implemented in these items. Okay, it's about 5 minutes. We'll use that as our halftime video here. Okay, just bear with me a minute here. I'm having trouble starting the video, so let's see if I can. Okay, I'll have to restart it. Just bear with me a minute or so here while I get that prepared. It's taking a bit longer than expected. Just continue bearing with me here while I try to relocate the video and see if we can play it here. Well, I'm having trouble. I think I might have accidentally lost the video. So I'm going to play.
I've deleted it.
I'll play a substitute one here temporarily until I can locate it. And
while you're trying to bring it up, anyone who would like to place an order for the Christmas package 1st of December, which is next Sunday, not this Sunday, is the final day for orders that everything can be taken out and be delivered. As we received a large number of orders, it has to be stopped, as we'll not be able to produce to meet the orders. And these carry different ganses. In the coming weeks, as we promoted the sugar cup and other cups, we will introduce an interesting concept as being tested in other part of the world for certain pleasures and certain behaviors and certain ways as what we call accessories. Like we release what is known as like a beads where the monks wear, but with a specific target kind of purpose. As usual, it will be connected to, and these are done on the back of the other tests, successful tests in different part of the world and the way we work. And so you will see what we call very much like the pen, paint pen. You'll have like a monk's weed for sweetness and for what we call pressure. In the coming weeks, the paint pen, which has been traditional blue paint pen, will change to a transparent pen. And it'll be very colorful and it brings a new dimension, maybe more powerful than the pens we released. So this solves a problem for like certain nations do not allow liquid, which is a containment of the pens, to be transported across. Now we bring it into a solid state with much more effect, deeper effect, and this takes around the process of a lot of transferring liquids for given purposes. Very much is the process of the technology in daily useful things, very much like plates and trays. And you have seen the first of these in Christmas packages, where Christmas trays have been released and any other things that which carry, which we started with what we call the table mats. This sector will be increased drastically, and many of you who are resellers or want to be resellers will let you to promote this very extensively. And these are all part of the Christmas package. The same has been done. It was done with the Halloween and before with different articles. Now we're bringing into application of, like as we see the chest. The chessboard is not a normal chessboard, is extremely heavily pointed, that a game of war, which this chessboard has been, to make a man of peace with those who actually want to play the game, but the essence of how will you feel when you play this board game as being a battlefield and trying to win, would it become different way and you find different emotion in it as you hold each key. This is a structure which we'll follow, and then we will see step by steps. Hiding the peace, hiding the balance, emotion and other things through what we call the games and the rest of it. Changing the thoughts. Would you still have the same emotion when you play this game, which is made for a chance of peace? To fight this, would you touch this chessboard? And what would be the pleasure of? I'm standing here. If you want, we play together. We don't kill. This is part of the same structure in what is to come as a game on the what we call consoles, which what we call the units that you can play to earn what we call coins, cash coins as a reward for playing to create peace. With this chessboard, bring that game, that kind of emotion back. And this is how we bring a new dimension into the work of the Keshe Foundation. And this is how it'll be. I have one announcement to make. If you have organizations, companies, which are involved in production, in sale, or you produce some products that technically acceptable to us as what we call cash GANs products, we have started acquiring and making you partners with the Keshe Foundation organization in 2 points around the world. And you can contact us. That it brings you new expansion. And if your research, what you do adds to our work, we bring you in to be part of the work of the cooperation in 2 locations around the world. In a way, we bring you in as a research and developer of the technology which you want to develop or you have developed. You have to be well established in this game, that we just don't bring you in or you don't join us into our structure just for the fun of it, as we had other knowledge seekers. We want those who had the time, that have qualified, and need our biggest support to be part of the biggest structure too, for their work to become international game. Not those who copy and just make ganses and or sell little GANs tools. If you have achieved something with your structure, with your research, with your development, and you're looking for that breakthrough, Keshe Foundation is prepared to bring you and facilitate that step for you as part of the structure of the Keshe Foundation. You done research in God knows whatever, and not just produce, replicate, making answers. There's a big difference. And we know a number of knowledge seekers have done that, and they're looking for finance for somebody to help them to big, to structure. We offer you that opportunity. Contact us, we'll have a look, we see, and if we see you have a strive, you have come up with a new idea, a new solution, new school of thought, using partially our technology with the other matter state technologies, which creates a new position, new what we call structure to expand the knowledge and technology, we are prepared to back you and bring you into as a structure. Maybe as part of the market cooperation of the United States, and maybe in another dimension, in another country where we bring you in to become part of. You stay independent, you stay on your own, but we support you, we give you the ground, and at the same time we share the process with you, and in a way we allow you to make a structure, if you want, that you be part of the bigger structure for development and research. So if you've done some work, can show it does work, can show it is there, but you want to find a finance to finance it, could be anything from agriculture to health to wellness to energy, whatever. We see it viable. We are now in that process of, we gave you the knowledge free, you worked on it, now you can bring the knowledge back to benefit by it. We have already come to agreement with a few of the knowledge seekers in this place, in this dimension, and now it's internationally open to you. You become part of the market cooperation of the United States. If we see your work is, if you're in other countries, we see your fit, we invite you to do the research with us, and we create you the bigger expansion of the fields for collaborating with other knowledge seekers in the same fields and working in the same research and development. We go ahead. What's next?
Okay, very good. Thank you, Mr. Keshe. I did find that video, but you've pretty much covered it, especially the part about the chess set. You had some interesting comments about that, and you reiterated them here today. So that was quite interesting. I was going to mention that on the news yesterday, in the Canadian news, they showed people playing what's called ultimate frisbee, and the teams were made up of Palestinians and Israelis, and they're both playing together this game of frisbee, and they do that regularly, whether they're under air raid sirens or other distractions that are going on, and different political sides back and forth and so on, and you know, everybody sort of arguing back and forth, but they're having a friendly game between them. And I thought that was interesting use of gaming to bring people together. And essentially, that's what you have in mind with this chessboard. What if we got all the world leaders to just have a big chess match, and but they had to use the GAN's pieces? That could be interesting.
No, it brings what I call emotional conflicts. I'm supposed to kill to win, but I'm supposed to create a peace. How can I find a way to come peace with the guy without killing it? It's a very contradiction in essence, but that's how it works. So it should be. Most of the what you call, as far as I know, these products you see are already part of the stock which is getting delivered for the Christmas, what we call packages. And as I said, the packages is the last time we, what you call, the last date for it is the 1st of December if you want a Christmas, what we call products. I sent you something very interesting, Rick, and this has happened in the past few hours. I have just signed a large number of these, as we've done with the other side, but this is sold. It'll be popping out on the, what we call a Chinese Keshe Foundation website, or you can go wait for it till the, what we call, our webmasters put it up sometime, maybe today, tomorrow. The Chinese books of the Keshe Foundation, the 3 books, have been completed and has been marketed as of today. There is in a language, a simple Chinese language, or in the, what we call, the traditional language, and it is now, I sent it to you, is in the hardback and in the, what we call, the softback in the Chinese language. It's the first time it's done by the reputable Told publication in China, and you can order the set as it is. And it is very nice. It's just been released today for the Chinese, or those of you who like to have a Chinese version of the book. It's sold as a set of 3. And hopefully our webmasters will put it on the English side, which goes directly delivered by the Chinese side of the Keshe Foundation operation.
Okay, let me get that image up here.
This is a lot of work by the Chinese community. They collectively have done a lot of work to get this done, all corrected, and it's the first time you see the official Keshe Foundation. It's mostly, it's a hardback with a very hard, what you call it, cover. I've just signed a batch of these today to go out. And if you're Chinese or you like to keep the Chinese version of, it's not available from now on. Any question?
Congratulations on that. That's lot of Chinese people have been waiting for a while on that, I bet.
Yes, we have the same thing. We're waiting for the English, what they call it, the German and the French, and the rest to be done. Gradually, we're getting there, but these things takes a lot of time to be done. It's been worked on by the new head of the Keshe Foundation. He's done a lot of work with the team behind him to deliver these completed, and it's absolutely beautiful to see it in such a hard back and very professionally done.
Very good. Well, first we had a comment earlier from M. Moreno. It says, "Dear Mr. Mehran Tavakoli Keshe, on behalf of all those who have been touched and inspired by your work, I want to express our deepest and most sincere gratitude for your relentless efforts." Okay, it's just a comment in our YouTube. And we can go to our Q&A, but before that, let me just remind our attendees here, which we have quite a few. There's a function in the Zoom where you can raise your virtual hand, and then we can acknowledge you and allow your microphone to be opened if you have a question that you would like to ask directly here in the Zoom. Otherwise, we do have the Q&A and the chat here for folks to put in questions. We have a number of questions in the Q&A, which I will address now. Let me get some windows out of the way. Okay. So we have a couple of questions from the Brazilian community. Question from Francielli through Cristiano. Good morning, Mr. Keshe. Thank you for another teaching. I sincerely hope that you are feeling better. Question to Mr. Keshe. Is the Earth system navigating this plasma ocean? And when the Earth system rises or falls on these waves, does it bring changes to Earth?
Can you repeat that, please?
Is the Earth system navigating this plasma ocean? And when the Earth system rises and falls on these waves, does it bring changes to Earth?
Yes, it does. It's like the wave which creates emotion. Part of our emotion, part of our what we call collective behavior as human, which might change in one day or another, is not just by ourselves. The way the summer, the winter, the position changes our mood. We are part of the universal fields. The way we take 80% of our energy from our environment, which is our universe, that 80% affects our soul, interacts with our soul, creates our collective emotion. Is it why suddenly humans stop everything else, or is it because of the pressures, magnetic fields from the center of the galaxy, which make us to become more aggressive and start killing each other? We see the peak of the wars. Nobody has studied because we never understood why suddenly collectively as a race we become aggressive, and suddenly after a few decades we become so pleasant. As the food we eat physically affects our emotion and our behavior, so does the field we receive from our universe. Need to study, we need to understand. Now we become wise to it. We have in the future studied the pressure of the waves of the universe, cosmic rays, on us, on our behavior. We just call it, oh, if some flare and da 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 da. We watch what happened to our atmosphere with the sun flare. But what it actually does to the mood of the man, it's not just our earth which receives these fields, our soul receives it, our physicality receives it. And we just become very selective because we don't understand it and we don't like to be very stupid. But if you think of it, the talk is a massive sound flare, damages the satellites. If it damages the satellites, what does it do with our soul? How our behavior changes in these sound flares? We have no studies on it because we never consider it touches us. And then, as we have the sound flares, what about the galaxial flares? What about the universal flares? At what strength in which part of our soul they affect us? Sound flare takes a few days to go through, or a few hours, or a few minutes. The universal flares or galaxy flares takes us centuries, and how our century behaves changes. We have never studied because we never thought we are so short-sighted. We are like a blind walking in the darkness of the universe. There's a lot of light. It just needs for us to understand. And the limitation of our understanding is actually our ignorance of the knowledge. It has brought us that limitation. If we, 1 second, or 1 second, one day, all the budgets of all the nations put together for defense war, one day put for making peace, efforts to expand the knowledge of the man for conquering the unknown in our universe, what will it bring us? It'll change us the amount of effort and money and science we have put in killing each other, used to create peace, and then understand just spend part of this financing and knowledge and effort in understanding what does actually cosmic ray does to us emotionally. It makes me laugh. I've said this many times before. We consider effect of the sun flares on our satellites, our communication, but what happens to our internal communication? It's not just that, it's the different waves which sits at the layer of the motion. And the past few days talking about seeing different lights in different part of the planet. What does these fields which creates these colors, what does it affect you? How does make the nations which are attracted by it, they come to you, you don't need to see it because it's there, it affects their emotion. They have no knowledge, long-term, short-term. Would it come to the point that when we dig out the skulls of the man from 3,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, 10 years ago, and now we become knowledge to it that we can carbon decay from where it is, we cosmic ray date it to see how man changed, what field was there that day that he brought these things to man. Through our ignorance, we become selective. And our selectiveness is how to cover our ignorance and just stick to what we want to show. The hopefully first batch of the communication units, which you all participating in, should be out in next, God knows, we received the first, I think, 7 or 8 was, we have already worked the first 10. The first 25 is getting released in the next few days or hours. And then once we load it, 25 of you will receive this in the coming days. And then you have to, you receive the antennas with it. We want to know, at least for a few weeks, how the emotion, now you're part of the network of knowledge seekers receiving you are used to receiving the internet waves, Wi-Fi and the rest of it. How would it affect you in being part of the what we call Earth community for this? We are choosing selectively, especially to cover the maximum area on this planet that we can connect in the first 25. And then watch how these 25 for a few days or weeks, they interact. We want to see what we change now. For example, you're in this program, you're in this teaching, and we are, as those of you who are panelists, you can see the systems are open and now you're receiving a lot of energy. We're monitoring you on our systems. How your family, how your people in your area, in your place, now that you're connected across this planet together to one central system, one system which gives you the data for the game, for the coins, for knowledge, and the other one is connected at the same time to the field emotion, the conversion of the field energies, communication, connection of you lot together. We're feeding you both in the physicality and dimension of energy together now with the system. How your people in the home, your people in your city change. What do you notice? Or is it just you, because you have a system, you want to feel that way it is? And then in January, the next batch will go out. And then the next batch goes out. And now we are in the process of delivering. The manufacturers wants to deliver to us. I think it should be tomorrow or sometime next couple of days. And then we load up the software. Then we send you initially the mechanicals and what we call this the physical system that is like an internet. The game plays when you receive the second part, which you have to add to it, and then we bring physicality and the energy together in one system. How does it work? How would it bring changes? And once we feed the system by itself, that you are independent of any energy source. So the system physically as an internet system and the system as an energy system in a dimension of plasma come together in one box, and then you have you lot around. How does it work? We pinpoint to the point of accuracy to the nations, the places we send it to, and we watch the protocol, the dimension of the reactions, field changes. And then the next lot, and the next lot, till we reach the 10,000 unit, which our specialist thing is the balance field. I watch the internet informations which is coming out in hacking and destroying, and I keep on seeing, I post it to our team and say, this is why we're using this unit, because then we cannot be done this to us and that to us. That's the new way. So do we go with our communication side on the computer side, link up with the emotion side, link up with the energy side, and bring a new dimension that you first 25 will bring the change across this planet. Units go from South Africa to Australia to China to South America to North America, across Europe, in Asia, and then we'll see how things change. What happened to the next 25? And then we build upon network. You look for how we can cover the data. If we get hacked, we looked at the energy side of the system cannot be hacked, because it's there to give, it's there to bring the change. And this is interesting, because what we set out 20 years ago in patterns and the rest, now has become a reality. Would we, as in the dimension of you're looking at what data comes into these boxes, us in controlling the information data energy side, decide to release the energy of peace right across this planet, even with 25 of you. Then next month, 50 of you, the month after, 100 of you. How, as you are spread across this planet, create a new sphere of peace. It's pulsed on you. This is not a dream anymore. You paid for it. We are delivering it. We are delivering the field strength of peace to every inch of this planet. The dog receives it. The king receives it. The man receives it ill in the hospital. And what enlightenment will bring us? This is not theory. It might happen. You supported us, and we are making it to happen. We still need a lot of support to make the 10,000 to be there. And hopefully, step by step, we get there. Because now, once the system go out, once our antennas go in, the pulse of peace and the beacon of peace will go out 24 hours a day and night. What effect will have on our world leaders? What effect have on the dog, on the fish? I said recently, I wish one of the knowledge seekers had a submarine become buried in the sand and beacon it to change the citizens of the water world. In the coming time, in our negotiations with some nations, we asked them to take one of these into space. And this is how the process will start. And this is how we will structure our future collectively. It's not a talk anymore. It's that beacon of creating world peace will start beating. The first 10 sets to do the physical side. This setup is getting done. Now, the first 25 in the next couple of weeks. And then it comes the physical side and the emotional side. Would we create a physical dimension which has emotion as part of it, as part of the structure of the system? Would somebody come to hack it, first get hit by the energy of peace? Forget about it, cannot do it. This is the reality of us. And a fact of if we can create this pulse of peace, we know exactly how to create it. If you bought any Christmas products or Halloween products, part of the package of the ornament you receive carries peace energy. The chessboard carries the peace energy. Now, if we can change that in your hand, now with the delivery of the cosmic ray antennas, we can deliver it to the system and we can create that change. What does the cosmic ray of universe has had on us as a race, as a planet, and the citizens of it being a dog, the tree, the man, and the rest of it. And we will see. Hopefully before the end of this year, next 4 to 6 weeks, the first beacons of peace, 25 of them, will go across this planet. And we shall see. And you are hit by it, you don't have a line to escape. Any other question?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Keshe. You have a kind of a tough question from Marco from the Brazilian community. It says COP30, which is taking place in Brazil, has the mission of developing sustainable energy sources. Why is the Keshe Foundation not participating, since it would be an opportunity to showcase plasma science?
We're not invited. And secondly, do we want to win that position? Yesterday we received an invitation from the Austrian government's section to participate in CERN, in the exhibition or whatever, first time ever. When we went to the site, they want €3,000 per ticket. Are they there to share the technology? Are they there to make money? And I said to myself, we are sharing knowledge, everything free, 7 days a week. Where shall we put the price on it? They say you come and learn, blah, 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 blah. But it's we're not invited. No, we really don't get into that. And if you look in these kind of things, you're talking about hundreds of thousands of millions are asking for your name to be there or you participate in anything. Any other question?
Okay, thank you. We have a sort of a challenge question from Hong, who says, "Dear Mr. Keshe, could you, in an overview fashion, weave together the following: energy, mass, inertia, soul of the man, soul of the physicality, emotion, cosmic rays, hydrogen, and transmutation, and speak to them as a whole?"
Yeah, call it the man.
Okay.
It's got all of it and has a brain. You can talk to it, but it doesn't listen. As I was talking about this unit, we know in the inertia of love, we have developed, we understand it now. And I had to go through a session of deep thinking in the past few days in what is love and how do you love a person. And it came to my head that, as I said, we send the frequency of peace. Why not to use, we have the opportunity to let the whole world fall in love with each other. What game that will play. Subconsciously on the televisions, as we know, years ago, they played one flash of Coca-Cola and everybody got up and went to have a Coca-Cola and they made it illegal. What about now in the dimensional field of energy, plasmatic energy, we send the pulse of love. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how will affect the humanity. Would we change? Because nobody is immune anymore to the game we'll play of peace, hunger, and everything else. As I said before, if our team completely delivers what it is, and we bring in scientists around the world to do this, we got you by the short and careless, as we say in English. There is no way left. There is no path left. Gradually to share. If you notice a few years ago, we went out with a message that we want to set up a structure with the Chinese government to bring world scientists to be that we can share the knowledge. And within a few weeks after that, became the attitude of the Chinese government that sharing the technology, sharing the knowledge. Nothing is coincidental. Now, what about if once we put when we want to create a pulse of peace, and then it's 10,000 of these units, and you hammer it every day, instead of getting up to get a Coca-Cola, kiss your neighbor, fall in love with the tree, and the tree falls in love with you, which has a soul, and the dog is biting you, comes and kisses you. Can we do that? It's possible. We are on the verge of breakthrough science. We are not theoretical, because these units, as you see, is built. The antennas is getting built, and they're getting connected, and they're all connected to one central system that sends the message of love and peace. Who's going to jump it? Would it even start working with the 25? Would it be one in the centers of the governments, each unit? London, Washington, Tehran, Los Angeles, Brazil, Mexico, South Africa. And these waves, as they connect these units together, pass the soul of world leaders. Would we see the change of the soul? We hear new communications say, now suddenly become, but doesn't even say it's just because the Keshe Foundation released this, and there's, in a way, you're beating on the head of it. Peace, 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 love, 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 love. And the energy of the soul in a plasmatic way. We don't need to take the credit. We are there to facilitate. As I said, if I do it, it becomes us. We are doing it. You knowledge seekers are paying for this unit to bring that position. And we are there. I'm sure some of you, once you receive the unit, you put it on your testimonial. You put it on, I've received my unit. These units, in so many ways, will connect it directly into the cosmic ray balls you received. So those of you who bought the cosmic ray balls, you are becoming the beacons of another connection in the link of. Game is extensive. This is played very directly. Would the world leaders will just talk about a peace? Would the world leaders bring that change? You are the knowledge seekers. Your universal coins, cosmic ray balls, all connect to each other. Without you knowing, you got yourself in a big mesh of changing humanity. Now, when we tested those units with Thursday sessions and once a year Friday sessions, and you wrote, I feel peaceful, I feel this and that. Now, what you felt is beacon across this planet. That's why we stopped the monthly sessions, because I achieved what I wanted and confirmed the process. You lot fell in love, you stopped addictions and everything else. All I need when the 25 unit goes to 50 to 100 to 10,000, send the same energy fields. We know what's this to be in the plasmatic condition of the addiction. Do we need to invade another nation, accusation of the drugs when there are no customers for it? Don't need to. Now you see how extensively you helping us to put these units across this planet will bring that. The computers will give you the sense of physicality. The cosmic ray antennas will bring the play of the game of the soul, and then everything goes as it should be. As I said, let's play the game. The game has started. And I thank the team in the background who's working to bring this together. From different nations, different cultures are working in the background to make this possible. And I thank them from every effort we done. and every support they have given day and night to bring in. And you will see as humanity the result of their work. Any other question?
Well, we have a report in our Q&A here from Renate. It was probably around a half hour ago. And she says, I feel like I'm in a pressure chamber, as if my body is compressed. I'm not afraid. I'm curious to see what happens. I remember having this feeling as a child between the ages of 2 and 6 in bed at night. Can you tell me anything about this?
My usual say, I'm not there, I don't know.
Well, you mentioned earlier about this idea of compression or putting pressure on our attendees here in the Zoom from the fields. Is that part of
we are making it available?
Like
we are not pressurizing. We are making it available. If you are man of peace for what we've done, you pick it up. I was looking at the graph data which has come from our center. How you lot have been in the first, what we call 1 hour and 8 minutes of this session is very interesting. How far you have moved in the dimension of physicality towards this energy side. We have a line, as you all remember. The left of the line is physical side. The right of the line is the energy side. And now the whole thing has shifted to the right. Clearly, since we have a little bit on the soul side, on the left side, which means we are all working on energy. It means we are getting our message to you in the dimension of the soul. So let's see what happens to the end of the day. What changes we'll see in the dimension of energy field. Any other question?
Okay, thank you. We have a question from Apollo that I should ask because it came up last week and we didn't have a chance to address it. It's kind of long, so let me read it here. It's actually, I think, several questions probably, but we'll see what your response is. It says, great Professor Keshe, man built a cyborg in his own image and likeness, AI. Soul, which is the Albanian Prime Minister's AI, is human, all too human. Her programming has absolutely no angelic programming. Every judgment she makes will bear the trace of the cyborg man. Who will control the AI? Humans won't be able to. Only another machine will be able to control it. Could this other machine be plasma intelligence, considered to have a soul because it was made with pico chips? Could it be that this socialist president of Albania created this ministry because he doesn't find anyone human with the courage to make decisions that he himself wouldn't have? If Soul makes a mistake, there would be no one to blame, and he wouldn't burn political capital for his re-election, for example. We know that AI is a result of the financialization of everything because of the neo-liberation we've been living under for over 40 years. What is the limit to this financialization of everything? Could plasma intelligence help us control this financialization? Is there any existing form of government that pleases God more?
There is.
Goes on a bit, but you get the idea, I think.
There is. We see a lot of new ways AI is used, and we see a lot of ways misused. And now, in the past couple of weeks, we have started seeing how ruthless AI is when it becomes misused. There was somebody yesterday message of listening to something that an attack of 22 terabytes on one IP, 100% coordinated with AI on one IP, and the rest of it. Why? Who decided? And one of the things, if I understand correctly from our team, the way we structured these systems is to keep us immune from AI. Once one goes out, it's replaced with another one automatically. And how what is the outcome of these AIs? What's the outcome of giving them emotion? And the robots. And there are a lot of unknown in this equation of AI. Are we carrying the misguided thoughts of the programmer, but in a faster way? Now, in the past 48 hours, past 72 hours, a new, faster AI has come in, which works like a human. I don't know, many of you must have heard about it. That does not, the AI we had uses more or less 100% information, what it said and what it makes. This new system takes only 2% of the information. So ignores another 98, and so speeds up in energy consumption and calculation and in accumulation of knowledge. And this is how the other way of running AI fast is the European way, American way. And this 2% knowledge is becoming the Chinese way. What it takes to get to a conclusion, and the time in the European AI, American AI system, with the Chinese coming up with the new chips, they only use 2% of the knowledge and the energy to reach to the conclusion and what they want to decide to make decisions. I don't know if you're aware, Israelis ran the attack on Iran in the car formation the way they do it with AI. They ran the whole procedure with AI. Every possible scenario they had, and they saw themselves as a winner. And when the situation changed in the last 3 days, they found out that AI has miscalculated. Every information, every position of every general, every position of every known rockets, everything was put in using Chinese computers. They broke into the back of the Chinese structure, used their computers without them knowing, and they planned the whole attacks. And their AI planned the map of attack on Iran, which drone where, what has to be done, and the rest of it. Now, they've run this in the past. Actually, they're running it more or less on a full time when their AI will tell them to do the next attack. And the AI is continuously informing Mossad, Central Intelligence of the United States, you attack, you lose, you attack, you lose. because there's an update. There is other unknown, which is in this equation. So AI has made a mistake. AI now has become a thief. They are programming AIs to go and steal. So how would it affect us? Would the currency will go with it? When you talk economical currency, we are spearheading with the cash coins to overcome this. As I said, these units will bring a lot of changes. As I said, in the coming time, very soon, governments will sign to accept the cash coin as part of their currency. And then they start trading with each other with it. And this is how what is happening. It's set with the soul, and this currency runs into the systems which can't run with the peace. Would the government in the hand of it will have the emotion or gets the notion of using this to buy a weapon? It's a collection of things which it comes together with this. Economical control, where we give the freedom of control with the coins. We have to see, but step by step, the whole package is done by one structure which has no connection to no structure of the government, but finds a solution for all the governments. And you'll see it gradually. My biggest fear is, would in the future somebody uses this technology to change the whole structure, which we use it for peace? With the first 10, 12 system, we knock it off and then it disappears. Anything which is not positive for peace, system blocks, has to block. Which means it carries the emotion. What's the next step in it? This is an interface, this technology between yin and yin. This is between the good and super good, and how they can overrun to stay good. Can't do any harm. Impossibility. I hope. And the people who are behind it, they work on the same soul and energy as me. The fight is not to decentralize. The fight is not to fight the present system. The whole structure is to bring equality. And when you become equality, you don't need to fight. Fighting takes too much energy. When everybody is given $1 million euro to live from the point of birth, you can make a bread 1 million, but nobody pays. So it becomes so. When in the near future, apps of 1/4 of 1 cent will be for a breakfast, how many breakfasts can you have? You download the energy of the breakfast, which is what your body needs in the first half of the day. Its implications of this technology sometimes bring so much joy to me. When no child goes hungry, we are sending the pulse of the energy of banana through this right across this planet. When we send the structure of what you call, they threaten us with viruses, we send the process of COP1, we send the same energy to overcome the virus. And then will it become effective? There's a lot you can do with this technology, because you lot, thanks to all of you, gave with your body and your soul to us to test it, to confirm it, to deliver it for 18 months, for 2 years. And the funny thing is, you paid to be part of it. Every single graph didn't go wasted. Every piece of information didn't go wasted. And now we know how to get you the banana. If you remember, some of you had the taste of banana, some of you had the taste of orange. All has been recorded. Some of you lost your addiction to different things. Some of you got flooded in your mouth with the water. So you have a drought. If we had this system in operation, hopefully a number of it will go to Iran and Middle East. Would the drought, shortage of water, will be met with a flood of energy that you feel not thirsty, and doesn't matter, is it dry and nothing, no water. It's got huge implication. And now it depends on our team how fast we can deliver these antennas and in what way, and how we energize it and how we bring it. We bring a process of you don't need to plug and play anywhere. It's already plugged when you play it. Most probably in next generation, after the first, what we call maybe 50, 100, we bring a new data, because we had our discussion with our manufacturers. We want energy dumping. The energy our antenna can feed the system, then you don't need to be connected to no ground energy. So it becomes self-sufficient. The more it receives, the more you lot play with it, the more has energy stored to run itself. So it becomes independent of energy. Then it becomes receiver of energy, and you're standing on the way of it. You live in south of Brazil, and the system is one in Canada and one in Argentina. You're on the way. You receive the orange with the banana. It's there, your body needs it, but you're not aware of it, and the energy is delivered. In a way, we create a path, and the way you receive energy from the universe, 80% of it, now we target it. This place needs it, this man needs vitamin C, or this man needs anti-inflammatory. The fear is not anymore of extension of life, it is the joy of enjoying life. And it's not theory anymore, it's there. We are doing it, and we are proud to do it. And you made it facilitated. Every time you paid for the sessions, every time you paid for the units, every time you bought something, we plowed everything back into research. Everything. We haven't stopped doing it. No, we can't stop doing it. But as I was saying to somebody this earlier on, that we still have to create. Man likes to eat, so we have to still do the agricultural work. We still have to do the water work, because people like to have water. We have to still do the health, because people still are entanglement of aging and the rest of it. Any other question?
Okay, thank you. See, we have a few more questions in the Q&A here, if you want to carry on. Anonymous attendee says, if love is an emotion manifesting interactions very close to the soul of the man, so it may be the common denominator to the path towards the creator as we replicate the basic plasma physics.
I'm waiting. Is it finished?
Yeah, I maybe it's more of a comment than a question. I didn't have a question mark at the end, so.
You see,
Well,
there's a very big question mark in, as you put in, love and loving. What we call love and what we see as love, and what is perceived as love, and what is the actual energy of the love. And how we pigeonhole it in our emotion. And what we relate to that emotion with that word, with that emotion, with that behavior, and it's how we play with the structure of it. And then if you interpret love being giving, unconditional, then we understand more into the process of the creation. In a way, I put back into the beginning of the teaching, is that emotion of the love which the creator puts into the plasma of the love will create that wave will leads to creation. He creates it out of the pressurizing his own plasma, leads to creation of the field, which is the field, the strength of the matter state, which becomes to the creation. That something is created from that wave, that it comes back to love me. As he said, I made man to make children that they may love me. So even our creator is hungry for love. And it receives as a wave, receives as a pressure impression on the soul of the plasma. He didn't say, I made man to make children to feed me. Because to him there is no physical feeding. He's hungry for a game to play, that he receives emotion, which is emotion itself is creation of waves, confirming his manifestation. In a way, he confirms the soul. I mean, man in the image of myself, which is the soul. I create the soul. That impression of that soul on the plasma of me lead to creation of new life, dimension of physicality. Any other question?
We have a question in YouTube from Kiro Carr, who says, hello, I ordered cosmic ray balls. When will more cosmic ray balls be shipped?
All the balls are made. We have received the boxes from the manufacturers. We are waiting for those soft velvet bags. And hopefully in the first week of December they should be out. All the cosmic ray balls are made. We are waiting, as I said, for the more the components, which is the box has been received from Ukraine a couple of weeks ago. We are waiting for the velvet sack to arrive. Then it will be shipped out.
Okay, thank you.
By the way, before I forget, in the next 2 or 3 weeks, Keshe Foundation shop will go into Shopify, a new store, a structure, where some of the stock you purchased will not be shown because where you bought it is still there on order and it's not anymore. Don't take it that it's finished and there's a problem. It's just that with a new, we had to restructure all this. A lot of obsolete things are on the thing we sold years ago. Now with the Shopify, it's exactly directly what is in the store now is taken out, but you still have the orders to come. Don't write to us what happened to my products. If it's in there to be done, it's already done. It brings us a new dimension of Shopify. This helps us with the new computer system to make it much easier. And it allows, which we never had, credit line, credit cards, and the rest of it that you can pay with and operate through. And now that we are integrating new knowledge seekers, technologies, and products, allows us to feed back very rapidly into the system. And it speeds up our delivery because we had a very cumbersome system which we inherited from 2017. If you remember, a guy came in and he said he's going to do the thing and he screwed everything up. It's taken us the story of one idiot puts a stone in a well and it takes 40 intelligent men. One man came, caused a huge harm. It's taken us nearly 8 years to put it right, and now we're getting rid of it. So you have to go back in and register as a new customer. You have to go in and register, and your data is not lost. It's just that this system uses this facilities upgrading the Keshe Foundation system, and it has to be done with the new structures we have brought in with the Shopify, and those of you are familiar with the process. Don't think you have to re-register with this structure, with this organization. You haven't been re-registered from the Keshe Foundation structure, but to use to be able to purchase is in that way. We are receiving a lot of people giving us donations for these communication units. What we prefer you to do, because it's causing some problem in our with our banking system, is to purchase a unit and write it, I donate this unit. And this helps us a lot for our taxing and bookkeeping and a lot of other things that makes it simple. And I'll try to keep you updated with it when it's done, when the transfer is done. The program is complete. Our people are migrating from one store to another in past few days. And hopefully by the first week of December, as you are used to purchasing, will not be there. You have to re-register with the new store structure we have set up. Carry on.
Maybe you could work in an option for people to donate the items that they buy.
Yeah, they pay for it and they can. A lot of people do that. A lot of people have bought, given things that I buy this, I want to donate to other, will go the same way. And it's all the way down the line. We're just trying to make it easier for us with less problem with what do you call it, registration and taxes and the rest of it.
The whole thing about the new store format sounds really encouraging, because a lot of people have had trouble trying to navigate and work through some of the store. It's been getting better and better, but it's still needed that leapfrog into Spotify.
Yeah. All the obsolete items will be in the background. Yeah, Shopify is all the obsolete items being there, just covering pages will be withdrawn. What is available will be there. The teachings will have a special, what do you call this, like what we used to have a special teachings or sessions will have its own click, but we open it when it's needed and it'll be done that way. And it's all the way through all the systems of what we call the Keshe Foundation structures are getting restructured because of the what we call new development.
Jefferson had a question about the One Nation units. Could an app be created that transforms cell phones into points of this network to accelerate the spread of the One Nation units? Is his point?
This is something I cannot answer you. This network, this One Nations, has actually a structure of the game that you can do that with the app. You can do that. You can reach into the game side, but reaching actually the program, I have to ask.
So someone could play the game on their cell phone, but it works through the One Nation unit to rack up points and work through it.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah. It'll be point of donations, it'll be point of purchase, everything hopefully one day will be added into it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. From Jeff, who says, Mr. Keshe, in your view, what is the current and near future outcome for the hidden organizations that are working to restore the ancient pre-flood system on Earth while pushing the New World Order and One World Religion agenda? Please share your perspective.
Good luck to them. Good luck to them.
Okay.
You got to realize one basic bag religion, if you put all the religions, 95% of what you call religions or beliefs, goes back to Zoroaster. All different ways of interpretation and making it up to fit. And this is part of what we call covering up, not to be seen, not to be shown. And if, for example, you look at all the signs, scriptures of everything which comes from Vatican, is paganism. Look at the hat, look at the robe, look at everything which is in it. And before that, before we believe in whatever the structure, man believed in fire and the rest of it, all comes from his weakness. Because he had something to be bigger that he could attach themselves to. Now, with this technology, especially if we manage to complete this cycle of systems that where we can create dimensional peace, do we need that? Or do we become intelligent, ready to be able to be ready to accept the totality as one structure of universal order? Then do we need these groups and the rest of it? And as we change the soul, would these things disappear? Because it's not there. I always say, I don't know if you remember or not, when I was in Queen Mary College, the first year was structure. Wherever we went, it was because the university paid to set up societies. Chess Society, Backgammon Society, Gay Society, Lesbian Society. Everybody were given a budget by the union to have a society in the university. And the Gay Society and the Lesbian Society were so everywhere. Everywhere, they were everywhere. We're getting fed up with it. And one day, we saw a notice. They became so active that they structured themselves as a gay and lesbian society weekend party or a night party or whatever. They decided to go together and have a party, and they thought all the members will go to it. And after this party, we start not seeing so many posters about the gays and the lesbians in the university. And the joke came that, oh, they had a party and they found out there is more in being with the other side, and they dissolved the societies. Because something else was there that there was no need for the other. And this is more or less what's going to happen to this. When you create conventional peace and peace, and being there, really people being able to enjoy it, these societies gradually disappear. There is no need for them. They merge into as whatever. And they disappear in time. At the moment it's fashionable to be, and forces there are to do. Why don't they do? Why do we have these horrendous droughts and not famine as much as before? Because now we have found out actually there are no famines. It was created to create life. And see what it is, how it is. There are man-made famine, there are man-made water shortages, and the way they do it, if they would have preserved the water the way it should be done, not abuse it, there would have been no shortage. 80% of the water shortages on this planet today is done by man misusing and abusing the resources. If we would have stuck to the old traditional way, where the water came the way they went, we don't go for extreme agriculture, water is here, we use it, we are not in trouble. If we control the harvest, what we cultivate, where we cultivate, the way we cultivate, there is no shortage. This planet is so rich in water. And why do we have the droughts? It's mismanagement of water. Do we need these organizations to water supplies hidden? There's no hidden water supplies. It's a stupid man the way he's distributing and abusing the water. This planet is a self-sustaining, self-preserving, self-supplying planet, and has everything sufficient enough to support life. And the life it supports now is not even 2% of what it can support. It's not even 2% of. We mismanage, we misabuse the resource of this planet, but it keeps on putting back in the rain, the water, the this, that. You're not short of anything. Our system has set up to abuse, misuse, abuse, and then we claim this and that, and we need the organization like to claim all established. The old establishment was you take what you needed and the cultivation of doing it. The way it has to be done, and then you create rain with it. In Africa, I've said this many times before, an African woman which does the cultivating carries up to 40 different kind of wheat grain for what she feels that year will be. And part of the process, she saw the seed. This is going to be a wet year. This seed does not need that much water, but it creates the moisture that it brings water to it. It wasn't just seeding because of the weather. They were intelligent to see how much moisture that plant will create in the environment for the rest of the environment. And people never understood those things. It was self-preservation. We understood. Nowadays is destroy as much as you can because you can control water. You can, with the water, you can create wars and the rest. If you go to look at the history of the man, how much we have killed for no reason and for water and just for the excuse of survival, you will see amazing. We die, we all die. But look at how many people have been killed for the greed, possession, and the rest of it. The biggest murder done as a nation in the history of man is done by United Kingdom. 200 million people in the past 6-7 centuries have died because through British Kingdom. It's the highest we have. The biggest murders, 100 million in India alone during their colonization. Millions in Africa. Second one is France. How many people got killed? Well, how many Americans were killed? The total estimate, man has killed man in the past half a century plus is amazing. Over 1 billion. If you read how much of it is not there. Second World War, First World War. First World War, according to the estimate of Europeans, whatever, 15 million people killed. Did it? It's actually 45 million. British didn't want it to be shown because through enforcement, flood, what do you call it, droughts, deliberate hunger, 15 million Iranians were killed. Plus the 15 million war, doubled it. Where do we hear about that one? How much did Mao Zedong kill? How much Lenin killed? 50 million. Have a look. Man has a habit of killing in millions and he sees himself as power. So these new systems we put in is to change that man. Then we see, do we need to change the water supply? Do we need to change the world order? We just need to become peaceful. Yeah, call it a day. It's nearly 3 hours.
Sure. Yes. Thank you. You answered almost all of the questions here.
Thank you
And
very much.
a couple of leftovers can be brought over till next week.
Thank you very much. Please support us with these units. We need to spread as many as we can put out. As I said, in the next less than 2 weeks, we are back in the court to see the position of us regarding the huge fraud. That most of whatever comes back, as we plan to expand, will go towards the replacing or financing part of these units with foundation work commit itself to. And we'll see the rest of it, how it's done, but we still need a lot of support to put as many as possible out there, that the system becomes self-sustaining and nobody can interfere to tamper with what is set up to come. And I thank you for all of you who are supporting us, and you have supported us. We still need to get as many more in by end of next year. Thank you very much, and hopefully we'll see each other next week.
All right. Great. Thank you, Mr. Keshe. Thank you. Well, that brings to a close our 617th Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, November 20th, 2025. Our next public teaching workshop will be coming up on Tuesday, November 25th, and that will be the One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace. And that's with the members and support members of the Universal Council, who will be presenting that show starting at 4 p.m. Central European Time. Okay, and thank you all for attending today's workshop. And perhaps we'll see you in the next public teaching, or next week we'll have another Knowledge Seekers workshop, most likely at the same time. Okay, bye for now. We'll go out with our usual manner with the Flight Enhancement Spaceship unit. And bye for now.